break. They've, of course, you know, got some of the quote-unquote excuses lined up, and I think it's not really excuses, it's legitimate reasons. The question is very much with OG, like, okay, how long until I get back into form? And can maybe mid-one play from Southeast Asia or not? Because that's obviously a very limiting factor when it comes to playing competitive Dota.
Yes, especially as he's still adjusting to the off-lane role and trying to figure out. It feels like, again, another player who isn't playing the most traditional heroes of his role, right?
Yep.
Like, we know Dobson's going to do some weird-ass shit. He's going to do play a Tiny and go Dagon 5 E-Blade, but we also know mid-one's usually not going to be playing the straight Centaur, Mars, Clockwork sort of offlaners, right?
And I think a big part of why mid-one's playing this tournament, even though he's got really bad ping, is because he is new to the offlane. I think if he was like already been playing offlane for 3 or 4 years, he'd probably just be like, guys, find someone who's in Europe.
It would be frustrating to play mid and be like, I know I'm better than this, but because of my ping, I'm getting outlaned or something. Like, screw it. But when you're offlane, you got to figure stuff out.
He's going to be learning about different matchups. Like, yeah, he's going to maybe lose some matchups he shouldn't, or make some misplays, or maybe his team loses games because of the ping. But end of the day, OG is going to be better as a team with mid-one playing here in this tournament and learning and playing as much offlane Dota as possible, even if it is on high ping. So I like that they're just saying, look, our results are what they are. Obviously, they've done actually not too bad in some tournaments, and mid-one is a big part of that.
So what do you think about the Treant Protector? Because Peter seems to be very staunchly against it, doesn't believe in this hero. But, you know, on the other side of things, Treant Protector also took down the best team in the world recently. Team Unique drafted Treant Protector, their first win against Secret.
Yeah, I saw those drafts. I didn't see the game itself, so not sure how big of an impact to expect from this Treant Protector. I think it's a hard hero to play. You need, like, the right game. He is up against several melee cores, so theoretically, to me, this Treant could have a pretty decent time.
Do you think it's better that he's playing, like, aggro Tri lane? When it comes to the concept of cutting down trees, right? Like, Treant Protector in this situation can still play the corners of the map, right? Push into the tower. He still has plenty of trees to play around behind you.
Yeah, I think it's better to play this offlane, particularly with with this boots first, who's positioning himself to block any couriers coming in. I think courier sniping is a big part of playing 4 position right now. But at the same time, a lot of teams are just getting really used to, like, you know, protecting their couriers. And OG have already responded to tramping up here. It's a full tri-lane versus tri-lane, so they're going to leave mid-1 and Funnick in a 1v1, hoping that Funnick can just have the edge on the Dragon Knight. And with Quap and Bane, 2 range supports, they're just going to try and kite the melee Treant as much as possible.
Yeah, I imagine this, them aggro tri-laning and setting up this 1v1. I imagine that 1v1 is kind of just a farm fest. Like, I can't see Beastmaster shoving DK out of lane because the high armor and regen.
Yeah.
But simultaneously, it's not like DK can do anything against most heroes he's matched up against, offensively anyway.
Yeah, I fully agree. I think the boars kind of tickle you, and Funnick should have no problems here, but at the same time, mid-1 should get his farm.
So maybe that comes down to just purely CSing, in which case mid-1 may struggle a little bit thanks to that ping. Our mid lane matchup, though, the Ember Spirit versus the Thompson Arc Warden. Why do you think they drafted this Arc Warden? Besides the fact it's just a weird pick, what do you think it really fits into this lineup for?
I think it gives them that plan B. You know, they top lane, we're going to see Bane. You'll get back to the tower, but yeah, like they want to try and at least first kind of run over the game with the Lycan in like the OG style, but the Arc Warden, when they pick it, it kind of gives them the late game assurance as well. It's a hero that can kind of get involved early on, but will almost always have some just, I'm going to sit back, farm jungle, fight with my clone.
Yeah, he's great at being able to defend pushes such as Dragon Knight pushes that are a little bit slower, not fully committed, and they're ranged, right? So the bubble just becomes this incredible way to slow down all that map control taking.
Yeah, HellRaisers draft does not take objectives particularly well. It is really just the DK you mentioned, so...
Meanwhile, like, they've got Treant Protector on HR, which is supposed to slow down tower pushes, but Lycan is really good at overrunning that kind of defense.
Yeah, this is Lycan and Beastmaster together, so a lot of tower threat here. Roger gets caught well away from any trees here, but has the Leech Seed to heal himself back up. And OG have done a really good job getting this big camp pull off. This is going to be, I believe, the second one in a row up top, so this is, I think, giving OG a bit of an edge up top as far as just overall XP and how these lanes are going. Oh, actually loses the aggro, trying to regain it. Sumail helping with the wolves, and yeah, they're going to get some nice creep denies thanks to the pull.
Yeah, certainly haven't been impressed with that aggro tri-lane or the impact of the Train Protector so far. Kasani taking a lot of damage, but he did get a regen rune, so as long as he doesn't die to this gank attempt, he'll heal up to full.
He wasted his regen.
Oh, did he?
He should have. He wasn't going to die to that Spark Wraith either, so I'm a bit surprised that he popped it. Maybe he thought he was going to die, because he didn't quite know how many heroes were coming his way.
Well, that's silly, because he could have been in a pretty decent position, but now not so much.
5-minute runes coming up, though, so probably see him fall back and stack his camp and grab the bounty rune. That's normally the play here, or just farm his camp and grab the bounty rune seems to be what he's doing. And both teams fighting over this top bounty rune.
Does look like OG is winning in the CS war, but not by major amounts. Ember Spirit is the lowest at 21 next to the DK. Soxa and No Tail battling it out with Roger, but Roger seems to be too tanky and too fast thanks to the Boots first build. And oh, poor Soxa just blinks right into the waiting arms of Kasani. Gets the first blood for free.
Yeah, I think you should probably expect the Ember to be there, or at least Thompson maybe should have called it, because Ember completely ditched that lane to go grab that 5-minute bounty rune and farm a neutral camp. And HellRaisers grab all 4 bounty runes, plus a first blood kill. That's a huge boost in gold. They weren't having the best laning stage. I think especially, as you mentioned, that top tri lane they were getting outplayed in, so that really helps them out.
Let me say, gods, I have been unimpressed with something else at this tournament. Chat wheel usage.
Yeah.
No Tail just prompted the moves. Where's the team synergy to build it all the way up? I know Soxa has it equipped. I bet the whole team does, but, you know, we're just not seeing that good old OG synergy, and maybe that is just an indicator of not seeing OG at their best.
Yeah. They need to, yeah, it's not just the Dota play, it's the chat wheels play. Everything about it. Even like the hero voice lines they usually use a ton of, we haven't been seeing that. It's very TI specific when they really pull it out, but you know, OG fans and viewers, that you've come to expect it.
Kasani, another good kill on the Soxa. Does force him to TP back to base. But fortunately, the Train Protector is there to be able to clean up some golden XP. That said, while they are finding kills, they are losing out on the CS war more and more.
Yeah, if not for those 4 bounty runes, this would be even or maybe even slightly OG favored in terms of gold. But Funnick able to grab both bounty runes and still come back to the lane and be a bit of a bully here from mid one, who can't really do much to this DK without some kind of support or core rotation to his lane. And he has got Soxa here, but this is a level 2 Queen of Pain, so I think DK is going to see this and be like, I'm actually not really too afraid of this.
No, especially not while he's still in range for him. They are going full out Zoo. I thought maybe only one of them was going to go the Helmet Dominator, but no, both mid one and Sumail are planning to get that item.
I'm not a big fan. The aura's just not stacking. I think a big part of this item is, 20% damage aura.
Sure.
The creep is nice and all, but it's not really an item worth having 2 of. Typically.
Maybe you prefer to see like just the faster Necronomicon for one of the 2 of them. We're just going to see the fight at top lane. The big nuke is coming in from Maposhka. That's going to finish off No Tail. A TP way from our Train Protector will get him out, but not Maposhka, and maybe not Nyx either. If the the Queen of Pain can get close enough for the Shadow Strike, it'd certainly be a kill, but it looks like it's not really needed. Sumail gets in front of him with the Centaur. Nicely played.
No Tail's impressed by his Centaur micro. Give him a little tip. That's definitely one. That's one which can be a little bit tricky when they're trying to juke it.
Yeah, and if you're getting a tip because of nice micro play from a Chen player, you're probably feeling pretty good about that.
Yep. So, nice first use of the Shapeshift. I think that's a big key thing for OG. This Beastmaster doesn't really have any easy place to make down bottom. He's just going to keep looking to farm up his items. So, Shapeshift is kind of their only real high impact tool to use right now to control this early game. So, anytime it's up, we'll probably look to find some support kills. They can't really push towers just yet, but I think for OG, the game plan is more about getting their supports levels right now and just finding some kills where they can.
Man, I can't believe Soxa is still, like, nobody's given him a lane to sit in, like, still not even being level 3, and we're approaching 9 minutes. Even with the tome in a minute, he is not going to be anywhere close to 6.
Seems like they're prioritizing No-Tail as mid one. We'll find the Treant here who's
trying to get away thanks to the Brambles. He'll wake up the Ancients, but they will not. His attack speed is so slow. That animation. Too slow for him to get them woken up. We'll get a counter kill top lane that kills No-Tail, and with the help of Funnick, they should manage to take this tower.
I think what we're seeing is usually there's like one of your cores can give up their lane to a support, and OG have decided the Bane's experience is more important than the Queen of Pains. So No-Tail gets given the top lane to try to get his level 6 faster. They really want to get Fiend's Grip online since that's one of their kind of playmaking conditions.
Sure. Good way to catch the Ember Spirit when he's solo. These tankery heroes you might need a longer disable to bring down, like the DK and Tree. Smail gonna pop his ultimate here, and he's gonna go straight for the Pirate. Once again, Kunkka chased down underneath the tower, and there's nothing these supports can do to stop it. Meanwhile, Kasani does manage to get the kill on the tops, and that's a big one. Maposhka goes into the single file tree area. A smart choice against this Zoo that is running at max movement speed. It allows him to be able to survive, and may have just put Smail out of position as his transformation is gonna wear out right here. A Centaur stun. Do they have any disables to stop this TP? They will not. A good read by him to TP out in a moment of danger. Midwan, meanwhile, does manage to run down Roger, who's trying to protect that safe lane tower, but Beastmaster really good at being able to get the vision of the tree thanks to the Hawk.
Yeah. The OG Zoo is starting to come online, and they are well and truly going all in. Even the Arc Warden is going for a Necro Book, so Midwan with the Vlad's queued up as his second item. They're going to have summons all over the place, and you lose a fight or just like use like a Kunkka boat and don't get much out of it, towers are going to drop very quickly.
And their AoE clear is okay, but not amazing. Ember Spirit and Kunkka can both deal with it. The only good AoE disable we have is kind of Blinding Light to help slow down the damage of all of these minions, but
he hasn't actually skilled it, which I'm quite surprised by.
What?
Yeah. I just assumed it was on cooldown in these last fights. I was like, oh man, if he had Blinding Light, he could save his Kunkka. I guess it's on cooldown, and I just click him now. I'm like, oh wait. I mean, I get Illuminate's valuable this game against the Zoo, but go for like a 2-1-2 build.
Yeah.
Blinding Light's it's 70% mischance at all levels.
Weird, but okay.
I heard a weird champ coming out from the from the peanut gallery. Yeah, that's definitely not something I would recommend when playing against all these summons. Let's just put it at that.
So I think one of the hard things about playing with Treant Protector is that he does kind of force you into a lot of 4 versus 5s while he solo defends towers. See Roger doing that now, and they're actually going to rotate into this lane to catch Midwan, who's farming up the Ancient Creeps. He goes for a stun TP out, but that is just going to force out the overgrowth from Roger. Well worth the cooldown expended to be able to get an important core kill like that.
Yep. Nicely done. It looks like OG are going to maybe make their first big move themselves with the Fiend's Grip. It's going to be mid lane. They catch the Ember Spirit.
Oh, but Funnick, he rotated from that jungle straight into mid, which means he's already here in time to both bail out Kasani. Kasani is going to get Nightmare. They have the Centaur stun. No, they're going to go for the Kunkka instead. The bow coming out, though, with the X marks the spot, pulling him back in. A nice 2-man stun. Nyx barely staying alive thanks to that boat buff. It's going to wear out soon, though. He'll barely stay alive. That Armlet doing some pretty good work. They're going to deal with the Will-O-Wisp, but Thompson has been stuck by the Dragon Tail. They don't have enough to be able to confidently pursue, though. They just play for this creep wave and maybe a bit of damage on the tower, but not wanting to overextend themselves. HellRaisers chill.
Yeah. Feels like No-Tail was almost like, I just want to force a fight here because he knew his team was coming to back him up, but even without DK there, I don't think they were going to kill Kasani. He did not have any follow-up damage to the Fiend's Grip. The Arc Warden showing up wasn't going to dish out any kind of burst to actually finish off that kill, so it did force a fight that OG were very close to winning. The Kunkka having an armlet, though, this is a really nice early game item to just beat him up and make it so that it's a bit more difficult for the Lycan to actually kill him off.
Yeah, while simultaneously increasing the damage from your Tidebringer. Like, he doesn't have to go a Heaven's Halberd build in this game. I think if he goes that simultaneously tank up while amping up your Tidebringer hits, that might be the best route, rather than Heaven's Halberd and then like a slower Radiance or something like that. I'd actually maybe prefer to see in this game a Crystallis build. It's been a while since we saw that.
The old right-click Kunkka, yeah. Yeah, there's so many summons. I can see a lot of merit for that. But For now, he does have the halberd queued up, so we'll see.
Managed to chain up the actual image here, so they might get that, what is it, like 100, 200 gold? I can't remember. 100, and is that 180 or 100?
180.
180.
180,
Okay.
240, 300 is how it scales.
Okay. So, not a bad bounty.
Yeah, it's kind of like killing the Helm of the Dominator creep,
Yeah.
more or less. You always take it if it's there, if you don't have to commit too much. And
We saw,
HellRaisers-
though. Slowing down those pushes.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay, there we go. That's a
HellRaisers
4.
is playing along.
Where's Soxa? Soxa, hello. Hit that chat wheel, dog. Man, he's new to OG, you can tell. Nyx, he's going to turn around, go straight for mid one. The Dragon Tail is out. There's no stun to be able to stop this Fiend Script just yet, though. Nyx is taking the full brunt of this. They're going to follow it up with Primal Roar and Sonic Wave. He's still alive thanks to the armlet, but the backline has been assaulted as well. Samael went straight for them. He already killed Miposhka. They've killed the core and the Kunkka, and Samael looks like he may stay alive to sleep. It's preventing the Ember Spirit to finish off. No, he gets woken up and he gets the slight that will get a core kill, but that's all they walked away with. As OG, they finally get the breakout fight and overrun that mid tower.
Sumail just couldn't get out of the tree at Nature's Grasp. He was just stuck in there. Finally gets brought down. A really big team fight. Great setup from OG. Catching the Kunkka there. All those disables and stuns. The Searing Chains that Dragon Tail will use. So No Tail just had a free full duration Fiend Script off. It didn't look like mid one was going to get a chance to get the Roar off. But because nothing cancels the Fiend Script, eventually he just gets out of the Entangle and gets Roar out. And Sumail does a great job going on the back lines. Takes out the Coddle, and you need Blinding Light. If there's just 1 point in Blinding Light there, Sumail has to just commit a lot more to get that kill, and I don't think that fight goes as well for OG.
Yeah, is maxing out Chakra Magic really that value in this game? I'm not convinced.
Or even go 1-1-4, you know. Like, that second point in Illuminate,
Mm-hmm.
is that really that much of a difference? An extra 100 damage?
Yeah. Miposhka instantly finding that ward that was placed. But OG still have plenty of map control. Now that they've taken the mid tower, mid one's presence here in this Radiant jungle is going to be a bit amplified.
There is a full Necro 3 on Sumail's Lycan, so OG will be looking to take a team fight anytime they have all their ultis up, which is, you know, Fiend Script and Shapeshift aren't the longest of cooldowns.
HR, they want to even things out, see if they can get the kill that leads into a mid-tower push of their own. Took a while, but they finally kill No Tail. Slowing him down with the Purge. They do have the Chakra Magic. Double Slide is pretty good. Nyx, though, being stunned up from behind. Mid one, he's going to go out and Samael. He activates his ultimate to be able to run down the Kunkka once again. The boat comes in just a little bit too late to be able to save anybody or get any kills. Now Funnick double slowed down as the Arc Warden shows himself. Rogers managing to get the two-man Meteor Hammer and a Sonic Wave over the top. Is that enough to finish off Funnick? It will. Now Miposhka lays out his ultimate, but they've lost all their damage. It's only Kasani that's still alive, but he can't run down any of these heroes that were a bit low, like Thompson's Arc Warden. Everyone gets out from OG.
Very kind of close fights. It's very much OG being the aggressors and kind of diving at HellRaisers, but HellRaisers doing a good job of at least kind of holding their ground, always just using all their spells, getting a kill in return, but coming out slightly on the back foot. OG, once again, we'll see here. A lot of commitment on to No Tail, who ultimately does get a Nightmare off, which forces HellRaisers. They basically forced to commit deep into the fight, and unfortunately for Kunkka, with the Roar on him, the boat buff never actually comes into play to help him out. It does help clear out some of the Zoo army, but that's about all it does.
Yeah, they really need some more protection for this Kunkka. He's getting targeted first every team fight. They did trade 2 for 2, but sadly it was 2 HR cores that died. Yeah. Funnick, he's going to catch the real Thompson. A very big kill. Combo it with the Torrent. Should be able to burst him down with this boat coming in, but OG may still be able to win a fight on the onset. As Samael comes in, don't think that's his ultimate. He doesn't, so he's just playing with the Zoo right now, but Soxa and mid one coming in from behind. He's already killed Miposhka, and they're sandwiching HellRaisers. HellRaisers, the only way to run is towards the Dire base, and that is nowhere to run. That's why Roger is going to TP out, and oh, Nyx, he got caught by the Nightmare from No Tail. Looks like they just brought more members to this team fight than HellRaisers, and as a result, even though they lose Thompson, they get 2 pretty valuable kills for it again.
Yeah, I think it's like a right idea on principle by HellRaisers. It's like, okay, their ultimates are on cooldown. Most importantly, the shapeshift. That's the scariest thing to fight into right now. So they had like a 30-second window with no shapeshift. They force a fight. They killed the big carry in the Arc Warden, but they, even without shapeshift, Necro 3 Lycan and Beastmaster rotating in. OG's so early mid-game focused with their draft that they're more than happy to keep taking these fights. And if you're HellRaisers and you're trying to punish shapeshift being down, you need to bring all 5.
10-13. OG, bit of a kill lead, but they're now up 3,000 net worth, and they have an Aegis for Sumail, who's going to build into an AC. Next item, the update on Thompson's items. He was only going for that Necronomicon as a farming item. He's now going to go has Maelstrom, going to finish out full on Mjolnir as well.
Yep. Well, Roar catches out Kasani.
Does he have a spear to be able to get away, or can they chain these disables? It's looking kind of bad. Slide fist, jump away to his remnant, and he may just be out. He needs a little bit more mana. He gets up with the tracker magic, but he got slowed down. The Purge slows down his last remnant he was throwing away and wasn't able to get out as a result. Mapochka loses his life for trying to save Kasani.
Yeah, mid-1 catches him out there farming in the jungle. Really nicely done. Finding the big pick-off, and instantly they're going to look to turn this into some towers. OG just not giving HellRaisers a second to breathe, a second to hit a single creep. Anytime they move out on the map at this point, it feels like they're just being hunted.
Yeah, look at No-Tail's movement. He went from mid straight to bottom lane where Funnick was split pushing. Now with the threat of the Fiend's Grip, it's going to take a while for people and reinforcements to get here,
coming.
But they'll eventually be here.
And they've got a Yule, so there's no TP out. They've also got a Nightmare if needed.
Yeah, that would be a TP. Always be in vain. No-Tail mooing at him.
Yep.
As Funnick goes
Prioritizing
down.
the kills more so than the objective taking. Like, they do get the tier 2 tower that's going on, but they were more than happy to just leave Lycan pushing by himself. And I like that they're getting these hero kills, because the way HellRaisers get back into this game is by, they're just an item behind. Like, if they have this Crimson Guard on Dragon Knight, if they had that Halberd on the Kunkka to make him that little bit tankier against all the summons, these fights could look very different. So I think OG recognized that HellRaisers are desperately trying to just farm up one more item so they can fight, and they're just hunting them whenever they poke their noses out.
Yeah, that Illuminate. Level 2 doesn't really change a whole lot. It can't even kill the range creep now.
But he's got Blinding Light finally.
He finally has 2 levels of it. Bottom lane, gonna get Zerg down by the Zoo. That is OG's lineup.
Yep. Keeping it shoved as much as possible. Mid-1 has got a full completed pipe. We'll see where he goes next as far as his itemization. Probably don't need any more Necro books or anything at this point.
I know, somebody's here taking my shrine. Pops the ultimate. Immediately tries to spot Roger. Overgrowth is going to be used, but I don't think Roger can really get out. And I have to say, I feel like this is an underrated aspect of the Lycanthrope, but Howl is a incredible underrated tool. And I think in this kind of lineup, it's all the more potent where you have so many summons that are outputting physical damage.
Yeah. Against Kunkka and Ember, reducing their physical damage. It's one of those things, there's some things in Dota you just never notice the impact of, because it's like, you know, damage mitigation, for example, like that, in like an AoE, but I'm sure that's doing a lot to keep their whole summon army alive and reduce the damage output of those heroes.
You know, the first time I realized how potent Howl was, it was because Lycan maxed it out first in lane when he was with Avenge. And I was like, why do I hit like a kitten while simultaneously have like -20 armor? What's going on? And I was like, oh, those Howl numbers are pretty good. Holy shit. You're talking about a 40% damage reduction, -8 armor? Some scary stuff. A smoke up as they kind of poke at the top lane, force a reaction from HellRaisers, and then smoke to where? They're just going to play on the high ground?
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to see if someone maybe pokes their nose out, see if mid-1 can get a roar off. But I think if you're HellRaisers, you're very much like, okay, we're in defend high ground mode. They have Aegis. We have no map control other than maybe a few wards down in the bottom side of the map, which isn't that useful. It's very hard to feel safe, even if you have like dewarded or vision in some areas, because of the Hawk always able to go out and scout you.
And it's very hard to feel good about HellRaisers' chances in this game, just because I don't think that they really outscale OG. I feel like this is both lineups will scale naturally later on to the game, and it's just who is up in net worth at that point in time. And with comeback mechanisms being so limited, OG will have to lose maybe 3-4 fights before this is all rectified.
Yeah, everyone HellRaisers has gone for non-late game items as well. Like the Shivers on Ember is just because he wants some survivability now. The DK with his Crimson, they're not scaling at all. Meanwhile, Thompson, he's more than happy to go late game.
Yeah, Thompson, he's getting bigger and bigger. Samael going to be targeted here. No longer has the Aegis here, so with the bow combination, it looks like Samael's going to go down. They're going to get an extra one in mid one as well. This is a great fight for HellRaisers. Losing nobody for it and getting 3 as that, oh, somebody stop this guy. Somebody stop this guy. No!
He pretended to be like AFK, so they ignored him. He's like, oh, I'm dead. You guys go chase other people.
No, they lost Funnick to Sonic Wave from Saksa. It went from looking like it was going to be a 0 for 3 to end up being a 1 for 2.
Mid one, what a god. Yeah, I'm glad we get to see this one again. Just watch mid one, the way he plays it. I mean, a sick call from HellRaisers. They know the Aegis timing. They initiate this fight because Aegis is timing out, blowing up Sumail before he can... I mean, he doesn't have a BKB, so he's just a great target to go on when he doesn't have Aegis. And yet they're like, oh, mid one's dead. He's lagging. Mid one, he's playing from SEA. He's lagging here. Oh, wait, no, he's not.
Everyone's so focused and like, oh, guys, the Bane's TPing away, you know? Like, leave mid one to the side, no big deal. You gotta finish what you started. I always appreciate people who are forward-looking, you know, and looking for that next kill, but goddamn. And you can have no mercy against someone who's just because they have high ping. This is do or die for HellRaisers in a way. They have not had the most successful group stage.
It was like 1 to 12 odds there too, but I mean that fight definitely gives you some hope, but it was very much like everything timed out perfectly, and HellRaisers made a really good call. I don't imagine OG is going to give him the same kind of opening again anytime soon. And I also imagine Sumail's like, yeah, I probably should wait for my BKB. He may even be thinking he should prioritize BKB before the AC. I think it's more of a key item. But I mean, look at the heroes you're against. Dragon Tail, you've got Treant Ultimate, Ember Searing Chains, Coddle. It's like all 5 of these heroes say, yeah, you should buy a BKB.
I'm not even sure if was the real Thompson in that fight. I saw his Tempest double, but I didn't see him anywhere. So that may not have even been the full power of the OG battle station.
OG see them coming with the Hawk Vision and the detection from the Necro.
Man, heroes like that, Riki, Beastmaster, any of these heroes that compel you to buy sentries a lot. The sentry change mixed with like TP scrolls costing more, it can be just exhausting to play a 5 position, a losing game, and feel like you are losing ground in net worth because you're having to buy so much.
And you also run out of sentries. Particularly when you have map control, because I feel like those games when you're winning and you know your enemy has to buy sentries for an invis hero, you buy sentries just to take out their sentries. Not even to deward some of the time, because sentries are that kind of precious commodity, and they've got Necro 3 to also deward with, so you kind of run into this issue where you have to be careful about spamming too many sentries on the map because you can run out.
And Gem is always an item that's best when you are in the better position in the game, when you're ahead, when you feel confident about team fights, because you'd be afraid of losing it. And so it's not like you can really make up for, oh, no more sentry, guys. Well, somebody just buy a gem. God, if you lose that, if you lose the next team fight, you lose that gem, that's another 1,800 gold net worth swing.
I think the good thing HellRaisers have going for them is that Roger on Treant. This is a good hero to actually get out on the map and push out lanes. He's spent a decent amount of time doing that. He's actually got pretty good net worth as a result of it. But the heroes who can't do that, like DK, have had the same items for 10 plus minutes, it feels like.
Yeah. Bit of split pushing shenanigans from Roger.
He'll finally finish his Crimson Guard maybe in a couple minutes, but it's like, is it really going to change? It helps for sure. It's something, but it's such a late pickup.
Armlet, BKB, Heaven's Halberd for the Kunkka. They almost have the Solar Crest from the Train Protector as well, so that's going to be a decent power spike.
Yeah.
I've got Peter in my head calling it power peak. Now I'm all mixed up.
Don't have anyone good to actually be putting it on, though. Normally you see this item more when you have like some hard carry that you're chucking it on.
Yeah. Yeah, what does the increased attack speed really do for a Kunkka?
I guess maybe use it offensively to reduce the attack speed of like a Lycan. I mean, it doesn't affect all the summons then.
Yeah.
I don't mind the item by any means. Like, you're still buffing up a teammate, giving them some armor, maybe saving somebody who gets roared, but it's just not as high impact of an item as, like, you know, you have like a Deucer or something.
Sure. Somebody really benefits from that boost in attack speed. HellRaisers are going to have to defend this next Roshan.
Yeah, OG have gone from playing like non-stop, just keep running you Dota to like, okay, we're winning this game, we have map control, let's farm our next item, let's get our BKB on Sumail, let's Thompson, let's get him another item, and let's get, like you say, next Roshan. I think they understand that this game's in a really good place for them as far as their advantage goes. I
would have liked to see HellRaisers, since OG is backing up and farming more for their next items, I would have liked to see some sort of smoke, especially a smoke to contest Roshan, if not going for pickoffs, but they don't really get it a kill, and they give up Aegis and Cheese to OG, so they apparently are all in on high ground defense, nothing else.
We'll see if that's Cole, that's going to work for them.
I feel like it's gotten to a point where like BKB may not be your item. I want to see a Divine queued up for somebody on HellRaisers.
Ember, yeah.
Either it's Nyx or Ember, somebody's got to get a game-changing item because this is not going well.
I'm on board. I think Kunkka is already, he's got the least damage items queued up. He's got like AC, Crystallis queued up. I think just like even buying a Crystallis now, like sell your Bracer. Who needs buyback? You got to go all in. If you don't win this game, like buying back may buy you time to get to Roche number 3 because OG maybe don't break high ground or just get one lane of racks and then they're like, okay, we don't have Aegis. We got to wait again. But I don't think you win the game that way if you're HellRaisers.
Yeah. Plus you have like having 2 Divine Rapier carriers always feels kind of good because if you die with no buyback, like, well, maybe, you know, the Kunkka picks it up and it's all good.
There we go. Get some gold. Plus 300.
Hey, at least they don't have to worry as much about the chip damage on these tier 3s, right? With all this, like, between Arc Warden and Necronomicon units and all that sort of thing, at least they have Treant Protector, where they can keep tier 3s healthy.
Oh, absolutely. That's really, really nice for them. Makes a decent difference. Otherwise, yeah, this is one of those games where often if you're struggling to break high ground, you just keep sending your summons and poking at them, but Treant's keeping it nice and healed up. It does look like, yeah, HellRaisers still need a couple of their tier 3 neutral items. Meanwhile, OG have farmed up all of theirs. Roger's a sly, crafty one. He's been split pushing up this top lane. He skipped one wave. He's like, all right, it's about time for them to be hunting me. And sure enough, mid one was doing just that. He's clearing through this entire tree area. Oh my gosh, Thompson just sends his illusion into the high ground. This is playing against Arc Warden as a support. Once it's late game and he has a Silver Edge or some like Blink Hex or something, it's not fun.
Yeah. Like there's supposed to be some risk involved in you killing me.
Well, Saxa.
Yeah, Saxa, he's pretty tanky though. Does still have his Yule Scepter as well as his Orchid, so Kasami's got to be big careful. Funnick, fortunately, is tanky enough to survive through this Sumail assault. And if anything, Sumail's gotten himself a little over his head. He gets caught by the X. They're doing a lot of damage to him. They finally force out the cheese. And honestly, if you're HellRaisers, that's good enough for me. If they can keep that mid tower alive, it'd be great. They pop the glyph. Funnick's trying to slow it down, but Thompson is just wailing into him. Jesus! That damage from a fully farmed Arc Warden overwhelms the poor Dragonite. And now, next up, Nyx. He tries to stop it, a Tidebringer hit. Now he's going to be met with a Primal Roar. The Shivas go down, trying to slow this damage. Same goes with the Overgrowth, the Will-O-Wisp. They've blown everything they can to be able to stop this. Mid one's going to be the target here. Sumail pops his BKB, deals with the Will-O-Wisp. And now Nyx, he pops his boat, but it's going to be Kasani who's left behind in the Fiend's grip. Sumail takes the time to tip No-Tail, who got it from the low ground with 3 cores dead. One of them, or sorry, 2 cores dead, 3 heroes dead, 1 buyback. It feels like OG probably just going to take this base despite the 3-man defense coming out from HellRaisers.
There's no answer to Thompson at this point. There's just too much on the OG side. They're way too far ahead, and Well, HellRaisers could stall for a decent amount of time with this Ember. It just doesn't feel like
You've
there's
almost
enough.
got it, Kasadi. You can do it. Kill Thompson before
Yes.
the throne dies, baby. No.
Oh, that's not a bit.